The world knew me as Lilith, a name whispered in hushed tones, a legend spun from silk and shadow. I was more than just a name. I was an enigma, a force that moved unseen, yet felt by all who dared to enter my realm.
She was the uncrowned queen of the night, her empire built not on concrete and steel, but on the ephemeral foundations of desire and beauty. In the heart of the city, where the lights never dimmed and the music never stopped, Lilith reigned supreme.
My throne was not of gold, but of the adoration I commanded, a subtle tyranny veiled in the allure of haute couture and the intoxicating promise of power. Every glance, every whisper, every touch was a testament to my dominion.
Lilith's palace was not a fortress of stone, but a glittering penthouse overlooking the city that never slept. From this vantage point, she could see the world she had shaped, a world that danced to her tune.
Here, amidst the clinking champagne glasses and the seductive whisper of designer gowns, I held court. My presence was a magnet, drawing the powerful and the ambitious into my orbit, each one eager for a taste of my favor.
Her subjects were not citizens bound by law, but those ensnared by ambition, greed, and the intoxicating desire to be close to her radiance. They were the movers and shakers, the ones who could change the course of events with a single word or a well-placed whisper.
I was a creature of the night, a predator who had mastered the art of seduction. My power lay not in brute force, but in the subtle manipulation of desires and dreams. I could bend the will of the strongest, make the most steadfast falter with just a glance.
For centuries, Lilith had cultivated her power, weaving a web of influence that stretched from the catwalks of Paris. Her reach was vast, her influence undeniable, touching every corner of the world where beauty and power intersected, to the corridors of Washington. In the halls of power, her name was spoken with a mix of reverence and fear, for those who crossed her path knew that she could make or break them with a single word. Her beauty was legendary, a mesmerizing mask that hid the cunning intellect and the insatiable hunger that burned within. It was this duality that made her so dangerous, so irresistible. She was a siren luring the unsuspecting into her web, where they would find themselves ensnared, unable to escape the velvet grip of her power. But beneath the glamour and the allure, there was a deeper truth. Lilith was not just a queen of the night, she was a force of nature, a testament to the power of beauty and ambition. Her story was one of triumph and tragedy, of love and loss, of a woman who had risen to the pinnacle of power, only to find that the higher she climbed, the more precarious her position became. And so, as she stood in her glittering palace, looking out over the city that never slept, Lilith knew that her reign was far from over. For in the world of shadows and whispers, where power was the ultimate currency, she was the undisputed queen, and her story was just beginning. Lilith's army was not one of soldiers and tanks, but of beautiful faces and sculpted bodies.
We were handpicked from the world's most prestigious agencies, more than just clothes horses. We were her eyes and ears, strategically placed pawns in her intricate game of power.
These modern-day sirens moved with practiced grace through the upper echelons of society.
We seduced politicians with whispered promises and captivated CEOs with our intelligence and charm.
Unbeknownst to these powerful men, they were dancing to Lilith's tune, their every move orchestrated to further her agenda.
Each successful campaign, each lucrative contract signed under the influence of her angels, tightened her grip on the world.
She had long ago learned that true power lay not in brute force, but in the subtle manipulation of desire. And what better weapons to wield than beauty and the insatiable human hunger for more? Yet even Lilith, with all her power and influence, recognized the need for allies.
And so I forged a pact with a creature as old as time itself, a being of immense power who walked among humans cloaked in an illusion of normalcy.
His name was Kalen, and he was not of this world.
To the untrained eye, I appeared as nothing more than a successful businessman, my sharp suits and charming demeanor hiding the alien intelligence that lurked beneath.
He had come to Earth seeking resources, his own planet dying, and had recognized in Lilith a kindred spirit, a fellow predator, who understood the intoxicating allure of power.
Our alliance was one of convenience, a mutually beneficial arrangement where I provided Kalen with access to Earth's resources, and in return, he offered me protection and a share of his advanced technology.
However, beneath the surface of their partnership, a current of mistrust ran deep. Section 4. The Blood Tax. Lilith's ambition knew no bounds. She was a woman driven by an insatiable desire for power and beauty, a force of nature who would stop at nothing to achieve her goals. To maintain her youthful beauty and enhance her powers, she needed a steady supply of what sustained her, human blood. This was not just any blood, but the blood of those who were vibrant, full of life and brimming with potential. But she was no mindless beast, no creature of the night who preyed on the weak and the innocent. Lilith was a sophisticated predator, one who chose her prey with the utmost care and precision. Lilith was a connoisseur, a collector of experiences, and her thirst was for more than just sustenance. She craved the essence of life itself, the emotions, the dreams, and the ambitions of those she chose to feed upon.
Thus was born my blood donation scheme, a twisted philanthropy masked as a high society initiative. It was a brilliant facade, a way to gather what she needed without raising suspicion.
The city's elite, eager to please their queen and earn her favor, lined up to offer their blood. They saw it as a privilege, a way to gain her favor and perhaps a bit of her power. Their donations were carefully catalogued and categorized based on their donors' emotional states and experiences. Each vial of blood was a story, a snapshot of a life lived with passion and purpose. Lilith believed that by consuming the essence of the powerful and the ambitious, she could absorb their strength, their drive, their very will. It was a ritual, a ceremony that she performed with the utmost reverence. Each donation was a microcosm of human experience, a taste of the world's desires and dreams, fueling her own insatiable hunger for power. She saw herself as a curator of human potential, a collector of the finest emotions and ambitions the world had to offer. In her grand library, Lilith would often reflect on the lives she had touched, the dreams she had consumed. She saw herself as a guardian of these experiences, preserving them within herself for eternity. As she walked through her luxurious garden, she would ponder the nature of power and beauty and the price she was willing to pay to maintain them. The blood tax was her way of ensuring that she remained at the pinnacle of both. Lilith's reflection in the mirror was a testament to her success. Her youthful appearance, her glowing skin, and her confident demeanor were all products of the blood tax. It was a price she was more than willing to pay. In the end, Lilith's blood tax was not just a means to an end, but a statement of her power and control. It was a testament to her ability to bend the world to her will, to take what she needed and leave nothing to chance. And so Lilith reigned supreme, her power and beauty unmatched, her ambition unquenched. The blood tax was her legacy, a symbol of her unyielding desire for greatness. Section 5. Seeds of Rebellion. Kalen, despite his outward charm and easy smile, was a creature of cold calculation. His every move was meticulously planned, every word carefully chosen to manipulate those around him. He wore his charm like a mask, hiding the true intentions that lay beneath. He had observed Lilith's growing influence with a mixture of admiration and apprehension. Her ability to sway the masses, to bend them to her will, was both impressive and terrifying. Kalen knew that her power was not to be underestimated. Her reach was vast, her control over the human world growing stronger with each passing night. Lilith's influence extended into the highest echelons of society, her whispers shaping the decisions of leaders and the fate of nations. This was not part of their agreement. They had struck a deal, a delicate balance of power that was now tipping dangerously in her favor. Kalen felt the sting of betrayal, a reminder that trust was a luxury he could ill afford.
I had initially underestimated her, dismissing her as a vain and ambitious vampire. I thought her desires were simple, her ambitions easily contained. But I was wrong. She was far more complex, her ambitions far-reaching, and her methods ruthless. But as I witnessed her cunning and ruthlessness firsthand, a seed of doubt began to bloom in my mind. I began to question my own judgment, to wonder if I had made a grave mistake in aligning myself with her. Could I truly control her? Or had I unleashed a force that would ultimately consume me? The questions gnawed at me, keeping me awake at night, my mind racing with the possibilities. Or was our partnership destined to become a battle for supremacy? The tension between us was palpable, a constant undercurrent that threatened to erupt into open conflict at any moment.
In the shadows, far from Lilith's knowing gaze, Kalen began to assemble his own forces. He knew that he could not face her alone, that he needed allies who could match her power and cunning. His alien technology, far surpassing anything Earth could offer, churned out weapons of terrifying power. These were not mere tools of war, but instruments of domination, designed to crush any opposition with ruthless efficiency. He recruited soldiers, not from the ranks of humanity, but from the darkest corners of the galaxy, beings whose loyalty could be bought with promises of power and plunder. These were creatures of nightmare, their very presence a testament to the lengths Kalen was willing to go to secure his position. Together, they plotted their moves, each step carefully calculated to undermine Lilith's influence and reclaim the balance of power. Kalen knew that the road ahead would be fraught with danger, but he was prepared to face it head-on, determined to emerge victorious in the battle that loomed on the horizon. Section 6. Whispers of Defiance. For a time, an uneasy peace reigned. Lilith, lost in her own machinations, remained oblivious to the threat brewing beneath the surface. She continued to weave her web of influence, her models infiltrating ever higher into the ranks of power, her blood tax ensuring a steady flow of vitality and strength. But whispers of discontent began to reach her ears.
There are rumors of strange occurrences, unexplained disappearances, and covert gatherings in the dead of night.
Her carefully constructed world, once so perfectly ordered and controlled, seemed to be teetering on the brink of chaos. Intuition, honed over centuries of survival, whispered a warning in her ear. Lilith was not one to be caught off guard. She had clawed her way to the top through cunning and ruthlessness, and she would not relinquish her throne easily. The game was afoot, but this time the stakes were higher than ever before.